how does the identification of engineering work regulations, which were published last year, affect the profession? And for those of you who don't know what the IDoEW is, it is this document, which is a government gazette, and that's the front page, and the second page is the normal EXA, like you saw on the unit standard. And civil engineers, we're always grateful that EXA has chosen civil as the theme for its cover rather than a ESCOM pylon, and maybe they did that foreseeing load shedding or something similar coming down the pipeline. But the IDoEW is a very real threat to the profession. If you read the document, it basically says that anybody who works in an engineering environment, and that includes the public sector and includes academics, has to be registered with EXA by the 25th of March 2024. If you go to SACI's website and you scroll right down to the bottom, you'll see since the regulations were published, we have a countdown clock, and I think it's sitting on 600 and something days as we speak today, right down to the second of how much more time you have to get registered. I've been in construction for 11 years and I can't seem to get registered because of the category A outcomes, and so on and so on and so on, effectively are going to be a serious problem the closer you get to that deadline. What the regulations don't say is what is the consequence of not being registered, which at the moment obviously is part of the process. Once you're professionally registered, there is a legal requirement for registration to maintain your registration via the CPD, the working in an engineering environment, and then the category 3, which is by belonging to a VA or being an external moderator, examiner, or attending VA learned society meetings, etc., 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 you can get the category 3 point. We believe that there is something more that is required, and we are calling it credentialing. What I'm saying is, how does somebody progress from being professionally registered to becoming a specialist and or an expert in a field? And maybe in civil engineering, it's more relevant because we've got so many sub-disciplines, structures, water, geotechnical, transportation, etc., etc., etc. So you can't be everything to everyone. The Act only says you must be deemed competent in your area of expertise, and that's what licenses you to practice. This credentialing is not a local concept. There is a document published by the International Standards Organization called Conformity Assessment, and it refers to the rules and the regulations of the game. There's a South African version. It's got the same reference number. In the materials testing environment, they are trying or testing out the relevance of this code. What this code means, and I can use SANRAL as another reference, if you wish to undertake work with SANRAL in their structures environment, you have to have gone through and attended the Bridge Inspector's course. The part of the conformity assessment that doesn't exist at the moment is some form of a regulated examination, like a board exam for a chartered accountant, but that's coming. That's coming down the pipeline. What is important to understand is that the body that provides the training and the guidance and the direction, like SARF is doing in the road sector, for people to get to the competence level cannot be the body that does the assessment. They have to be two separate entities because you can't be the judge and the jury in this instance.